Easter Sunday, March 31st, 2024. While millions of families across America were waking up to church bells, Easter baskets, and morning coffee, a group of thieves somewhere in Los Angeles were doing something else entirely. They were counting money, stacks of it, somewhere between $20 and $30 million in cash, stolen overnight from one of the most secure vaults in Southern California. No shots fired, no alarms triggered, no witnesses. By the time anyone knew the money was gone, the thieves had already disappeared. This is the story of the most audacious cash heist in the history of Los Angeles. And as of right now, nobody has been caught. Most people have never heard of GardaWorld, but chances are their money has passed through its hands. GardaWorld is one of the largest private security and cash management companies in the world. A Canadian-based corporation with over 132,000 employees operating across North America, Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Their business model is simple but powerful. They pick up cash from businesses, ATMs, and financial institutions, transport it in armored trucks, and store it in secure warehouse vaults before redistributing it to banks. Think of them as the hidden circulatory system of the cash economy. You don't see them, you don't think about them, but every time you pull a 20 from an ATM, there's a good chance GardaWorld touched it first. Their Sylmar facility, sitting quietly on Roxford Street in the San Fernando Valley, was one of their regional cash hubs, storing tens of millions of dollars collected from businesses all across Southern California. It was, in theory, one of the most secure buildings in the area. In theory. Here's something most people don't realize. That building in Sylmar wasn't a bank. It didn't look like a vault. From the street, it looked like any other warehouse in any other industrial corner of the valley. But inside, it held something extraordinary. Cash management facilities like GardaWorld's Sylmar location are legally permitted to hold enormous sums of money on behalf of banks and businesses. They're considered more efficient than traditional banks. Fewer locations, tighter restrictions on who can enter, no walk-in customers. The cash inside had been collected from businesses across Southern California. Retail stores, ATMs, restaurants, all waiting to be processed, sorted, and returned to the financial system. Security expert Jim McGuffey, a veteran of both Brinks and Loomis, put it plainly. For that kind of money, you don't just walk in and walk out with it. A facility should be protected from the top to the bottom and the sides. Someone, it seems, had found a way around every one of those protections, and they had done their homework. In the year leading up to Easter Sunday, 2024, the GardaWorld Sylmar facility had triggered over a dozen burglar alarm calls to the Los Angeles Police Department. Every single one had been dismissed as a false alarm. Investigators would later note this pattern with uncomfortable clarity. By the time the real break-in occurred, the LAPD had been so conditioned to ignore alerts from this address that the thieves' alarms barely registered a response. At 11:30 p.m. on March 30th, the night before Easter, another alarm was triggered. The LAPD received the call, and just like all the others before it, they dismissed it as a false alarm. It's one of the most chilling details of this case, because if someone had done this deliberately, triggered alarm after alarm in the months before the heist to train police into indifference, it would represent a level of patience and planning that goes far beyond an opportunistic crime. It would mean someone had been watching this building for a very long time. Easter Sunday, 4:30 a.m. 3 more alarm calls were triggered from the Sylmar facility. Officers responded each time. Each time they found no visible signs of a break-in. No broken windows, no forced doors, nothing. The building looked normal from the outside. What investigators would eventually piece together is this. The thieves had entered through the roof. They came down from above, bypassing the ground-level security entirely, and worked their way into the vault. Outside, a resident at a nearby mobile home park later told reporters they had heard mechanical sounds coming from the direction of the building during the night. And the owner of a nearby convenience store noticed something else. The store's Wi-Fi signal had stopped working for much of Easter Sunday morning. Investigators and security experts took note. A Wi-Fi jammer, a device that disrupts wireless signals and has become increasingly common in sophisticated burglaries, could explain both the failed alarms and the dead internet signal. Someone had thought of everything, and they had done it all on a night when half the country was asleep. As Easter Sunday morning arrived, GardaWorld employees showed up to work. They went through their routines, and at some point that morning, someone opened the vault. What they found inside changed everything. The money was gone, all of it. Upwards of $30 million in cash vanished. And here is perhaps the most unnerving detail of all. Outside the vault itself, there were no obvious signs of a break-in. No smashed doors, no scattered papers, no overturned furniture. The thieves had been so precise, so controlled, that the building looked almost untouched. The break-in wasn't officially reported to the LAPD until around noon, nearly 12 hours after the last alarm call. By that point, the trail was already cold. The money had been gone for hours, and whoever had taken it was long gone. Stop for a moment and consider the logistics. $1 million in $100 bills weighs approximately 22 pounds. $30 million? That's roughly 660 pounds of cash, nearly a third of a ton. Moving that kind of money isn't just a matter of stuffing it into a bag and running. You need bags, many of them. You need vehicles, probably more than one. You need time, you need people, and you need somewhere to take it. Security experts who analyzed the case were consistent on one point. This was not a spontaneous crime. The sheer physical scale of the operation, breaching a commercial vault, removing an enormous quantity of cash, transporting it, and vanishing before morning, suggests weeks or months of planning, a practiced crew, specialized equipment, and almost certainly advanced knowledge of exactly what was inside that building. The sheer logistics are impressive, said Scott Andrew Selby, co-author of a book on the world's largest diamond heist. The question that kept coming back, how did they know? When news of the heist broke publicly, the reaction was immediate and almost disbelieving. One GardaWorld employee, speaking anonymously to KTLA News, put it simply, "This is mind-blowing bad." News crews descended on Roxford Street. Aerial footage captured what appeared to be a large hole cut into the side of the building, freshly boarded over with plywood. The Federal Bureau of Investigation and LAPD confirmed a joint investigation was underway. No suspects were named. No persons of interest were identified. That was April 2024, and for many months after that, official silence. From the very beginning, investigators zeroed in on a question that the evidence seemed to demand. Did someone on the inside help? Former FBI Special Agent in Charge, Robert Clark, outlined what detectives would examine. Who had access? Who knew the schedule? Who knew how long the money would be inside? Think about what the thieves knew. They knew the layout. They knew the vault. They knew the timing. They may have known about the alarm pattern. They knew how much money was there. That's a lot of knowing, and not all of it could have come from the outside. Investigators didn't have to look far for historical context. In 2012, a GardaWorld facility in Riviera Beach, Florida, was robbed from within. In 2022, another GardaWorld location in San Leandro, California was targeted. And in 2014, internal discrepancies amounting to approximately $9 million were reportedly discovered across the company. GardaWorld declined to comment on the Sylmar heist. Experts pointed to rapid expansion as a potential vulnerability. Growth can be strength, but it can also create cracks. Here's the hard truth about stealing $20 to $30 million in cash. In some ways, it's a perfect crime. Unlike digital transactions, physical currency doesn't leave an automatic trail. If you could move it, hide it, and spend it slowly and carefully, you might just get away with it. The FBI and LAPD kept the investigation close. No public arrests, no recovered money. But one expert offered a sobering prediction. With today's forensics, it could be a small piece of evidence that unravels everything. Laundering $30 million, it turns out, is almost as dangerous as stealing it. The Easter Sunday Heist has everything a movie needs. A daring crew, a holiday weekend, a fortune in cash, alarm calls dismissed over and over, a vault breached so cleanly it barely left a trace, and a haul that has never been publicly recovered. The investigation is ongoing, or at least that's the last official word. $20 to $30 million in cash, gone. Somewhere, right now, someone knows exactly what happened on that roof in Sylmar. Someone carried that money out. Someone drove it away. And if someone on the inside helped pull this off, they may still be working there. They may still be moving your money. Like and subscribe.